Do you have any idea what time you actually got out of Deepak's car? Can you estimate that?
I can't say exactly when. I don't know exactly when. The only thing I can say for sure is when I was home, because that's, that you said yourself to me that the most important thing is to look at facts, and those are facts that you can actually say what time you got home. By video footage, what time you left Cars and Charlie's. Those are things you can actually, actually really prove.
All right, well, let me jump ahead. What time did you get home, so we had this time frame?
It was 3:35, I think, or 3:25. I don't know. I had ABC look at the pieces there. Well, they had the pieces too, so that's.
Are you able to estimate how long you were on the beach with Natalie?
Yeah, it was probably an hour, maybe not even an hour.
So besides walking north in the direction away from her hotel, what else were you doing?
Nothing really, just holding hands and talking about it, everything.
What was her condition?
Yeah, to me she seemed like she had something to drink, but she seemed fine. She knew what she was doing.
What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, we talked about, she said about that she was going to her school and she didn't want to leave Aruba because she loved it so much. She thought it was the best place in the world. And that's stuff we talked about.
What kind of stuff were you saying?
Yeah, I told her that, I lied to her that at 19 I said that I was going to go study in the States at St. Leo University. And, we were just having casual talking about stuff.
So you never had intercourse, right?
No, never.
How come? I mean, if that was your intention and...
Well, I mean, when it actually, at the point that it did get down to that, I didn't have a condom with me, and I've heard people say, oh, that's strange, oh, that makes absolutely no sense. Any 18-year-old or 17-year-old then, when he doesn't have a condom, would have sex anyway. And I mean, that's the truth, though. I didn't have a condom with me, and that's why I didn't have sex with her, because I won't have sex with a girl without a condom. I mean, I've never done that before, and I'm never going to do that either. That's just something that I've always kept myself to. That's important for me too.
Did you discuss that with her at all?
Yeah, that's what I told her then, that I wouldn't have sex, that I didn't have a condom, and I wouldn't have sex without a condom. I usually have one in my wallet. I always carry one with me in my wallet, and I didn't have one with me then.
And what was her reaction to all this?
Yeah, she understood that, and she didn't want to do it without a condom either.
So, but there was you had some sort of sexual contact at some point, is that right?
Yeah.
Was that in the car, or is that on the beach?
That was on the beach too.
And at this point, Satish and Deepak, they're long gone in the car.
Yeah.
Other people walking on the beach?
Yeah, there was, on the time that I started walking the other direction, there was only one couple that walked by. And because most of them were at the actual Marriott hotel, that period there was only one couple that actually walked by.
What was it that was the sort of why did you leave? I mean, what happened? Did the conversation end, or how did you happen to leave? Leave the beach. At some point you and Natalie separated, according to you, is that right? How did that come about?
Well, I mean, I had to go to school the next day. I was close to my exams. I had to do my final exams. And, the bus was picking me up at 6:40 a.m. I mean, I had to go home, and I didn't want my dad to go into my room and see I'm not there or anything like that. So, I mean, I had to go home. So, yeah, at one point I told her, it's time to go back to your hotel. And she was just like, no, let's stay here. Let's look at the stars. She was just saying, stay here with me, just stay here with me the whole night. Tomorrow I have to go back anyway, and that's what we were talking about.
And what did you say? I mean, how does the conversation go back and forth between the two of you on this?
Yeah, so she was asking me to stay, and I told her I really had to go, so for me to bring her back to her hotel. And then I said at the end, okay, well, I'm going to call Deepak to come pick me up. And yeah, so I walked right there. There's the fisherman's huts. There's a little because there's a lot of wind there on the beach, so I walked right next to that, and that's where I called him from. And I asked him to come pick me up. Then it was his brother that came to pick me up, but I asked him to come pick me up.
Do you know where? So you actually called him and reached him on your cell phone?
Yeah, on his cell phone.
And said, "Come pick me up," and what did he say?
And he said, "Yeah, okay, sure." He said he was on his computer talking to friends.
So about how much later did Satish show up driving his car?
Probably 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later.
Deepak wasn't there? Wasn't in the car?
No, wasn't in the car.
Did you see Deepak at all again that night?
No, not till the next day, that night.
Did Satish pick you up in his car or his mother's car?
In Deepak's car.
So it's the same car that dropped you off?
Yeah.
Did you say, "Where's Deepak"?
Yeah, of course that was the first reaction when I came there. I walked over, I sat in the car, And I was like, where's Deepak? He said, oh, he's at home on his computer. And that's when I told him, the girl's still on the beach, and she wanted me to stay there with her. And it's, I want to go home, but what do you do? And he reacted like, okay, yeah, let's go, let's go fast and let's leave. Not really caring about her. Let's just go and leave her there. And I was like, oh, okay, so let's go. So we really went without even saying goodbye to her, without even really telling her at that point that...
Did Satish ever get out of the car when he picked you up?
No, never. He stayed behind the wheel the whole time.
Did you point in the general area where Natalie was?
Yeah, I said that we were right there, and he said, yeah, screw it, let's go home.
So about how far away was Natalie at that point from the car when Satish picked you up?
Probably 300 yards.
So about 900 feet.
Yeah.
Quite a distance, at least.
So you
couldn't see her, basically?
I don't know, I couldn't see her. I don't know if it was that far, actually, because you have a road that goes there along with the beach, where he drove by, and his car is kind of fixed up, and his muffler from his car is really loud. So yeah, it made a lot of noise. So that's the first thing I heard when he came with his car. That's the first thing I heard was the muffler from the car making sound. So I knew he was coming.
So when you were with Natalie, you were actually with Natalie when you heard the sound of the muffler?
Yeah.
What did you say to Natalie at that point?
At that point, I was with her still at the beach, and I told her that I had to take her back to her hotel. And she really had to go back to her hotel because I really had to go to school the next day. And she was just like, she thought that I would stay there with her, and that's in the end probably what I should have done. That's the one thing that I did wrong. To leave her there without actually saying I was going to leave her there. And it's just...
You left without your shoes. How do you explain that?
Yeah, we walked on the beach in the beginning, and where we sat down there then, I'd taken off my shoes, and because when you walk in, it was the exact same shoes that I'm wearing now.
Same kind? Or those aren't the shoes?
No, those aren't the shoes, but those are the exact same kind, the same size too. And and so when I was on the beach, I'd taken them off there, not to get sand into them, and that's where, where we started walking the other way. I always thought we'd go back, and that's where I'd left my shoes. And in the point in the car when we said, we're going to leave, we just left, and then I didn't really care about my shoes anymore.
You hadn't realized in order to walk that 900 feet, it's you're walking through the sand and a little bit on pavement where the car is, right?
No, it was just sand, and then it comes right to the pavement. So no, I knew I didn't have my shoes with me. That's
didn't bother you?
But it didn't bother me. I mean, when he said I wasn't planning on leaving right away, it was that action that took place there that we're like, okay, let's go, and then that's when we left.
You didn't say to Satish, look, I got to go get my shoes?
No, that's what. Of course I should have, but no.
Did Natalie take off her shoes?
I don't remember. I think she had sandals on. I don't know. I think she was wearing. Yeah, she did. She left her sandals there too.
Did she walk in the water with you?
We didn't walk in the water. We walked on the beach the whole time.
Okay, so we took off because you want to get sand in, not because you didn't get them wet.
No, because I don't want to get sand in.
And so it wasn't the least bit peculiar to you that you left the shoes behind and got in the car?
Of course it was peculiar, but I mean, it wasn't like he didn't really care about them. At that point, it was more about the conversation moment, like, let's go, let's go, because he was like, yeah, screw her, let's go home. And yeah, I knew if I would have gone back, she would have been like, again, let's go back, let's stay here, blah, blah, blah. And at that point, when I'd called him between that, there was actually a point where I'd picked her up, in a joking way, like, okay, then I'm going to take you back to your hotel if you don't want to go back. And she said, no, put me down. And so, yeah, I put her down again. And I was just talking to her, and yeah, I explained to her why I had to go home. And she was just, please stay with me till the next day.
Did you think it was unusual that Deepak didn't come back and pick you up?
No, unusual, no, not really. Because he told me he was on his computer.
What was there was a discrepancy at some point. I mean, there have been a lot of reports. It's sort of hard to figure out what is and what isn't. That at one point you said Deepak gave you a ride home, and then it changed to Satish. Can you explain that, or is there not a discrepancy?
No, there is a discrepancy there, and I did at one point say that Deepak took me home, but that was at more of a point from we'd always said when we were at our house talking that we'd keep